That lighting good?
Yeah,
To adjust it.
that's fine. Okay. Hello, welcome to the Holler Horror Hour.
Ooh.
I'm Benzie.
I'm Devin.
And this episode is on 28 days, weeks, and years later. Obvious choice because the new movie came out to rewatch the old ones.
Yeah.
I remembered everything that happened in them.
I forgot everything.
Yeah.
In fact, I criticized 28 Days Later as like, I don't know if I would show this to anyone ever. Like, it's just another zombie movie.
Let's rank them.
Okay. I think 28, for me, it'd be 28 days, then 28 weeks, and 28 years later. Perhaps controversially.
My controversial take is 28 years is the best one. Then days, then weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't think weeks was bad.
I don't think weeks was nearly as bad as everybody kind of harps on it over. And I think in a lot of ways it's much more spiritually a successor to like 28 Days Later than
yeah, weeks isn't even
than 28 years later. No, weeks, I mean, I think. Like, I think if I held up the three movies and asked, where's the camera? If I held up the three movies and asked, like, which one's the odd man out here, you'd probably pick 28 years later as the one that isn't related to the other two.
I agree. I feel like Danny Boyle wanted to make a movie and a studio or something was like, we're only doing existing IPs or something. And this is what he could do with 28 years later.
You're still on the hook for 28, another 28 units of time later movie, sir.
Well, and I didn't even know when we watched that it was a two-parter.
Apparently, it's going to be a trilogy. Actually,
trilogy?
Yeah, I'm hearing that because after we watched it, naturally, I wanted to know like what did other people think of it? What's going on with this? And apparently, like I've heard some things that it's supposed to be a trilogy.
Well, I know you didn't like it, but I find that very exciting. Yeah. Are they all going to be done by Danny Boyle?
No. Actually, okay. That I can say off the bat, no. The next one is going to be handled by. I don't remember the director's name. Yeah, I don't remember the director's name, but I think she's like her last film was like The Marvels or something.
I feel Will is excited about it now.
Yeah, I feel like too that like to the extent that I wanted to just be nice to years later and just say like, hey, this movie just was not for me. Hearing that there's like, a second movie coming right after it, and that they're making a trilogy out of it, like that just makes me feel all the more inclined to be like, this movie was a half-baked, shameless cash grab.
I thought it was beautiful. It spiritually touched me. I loved it, obviously. And if it is going to be a trilogy, which sounds like it is, with different directors, I feel like it was a good film with a closed ending.
What? Did you forget the movie already? Closed ending?
When I saw that ending, high spoilers on everything.
Yeah. There will be. This is not a spoiler-free review
podcast ever. When I saw that ending, I thought like, oh, not like, of course it could lead to another movie,
Uh-huh.
but I thought it was kind of just like because it was such a different energy than the rest of the movie. I saw it as just like a little kind of like an ending scene of like, oh, this is that kid from the beginning, and this is like the 12-year-old is now going to have like a life of adventures and meet lots of new people, and this is like a little taste of that, but I didn't see it necessarily as an introduction to another movie.
Yeah, I guess.
So I thought it was a good closed film.
I guess I didn't know. I never assume offhand that like an open-ended ending means that there's going to be a sequel anymore, especially in like the horror genre. Like that doesn't mean shit. Like there are there are horror movies where Freddy Krueger comes in and kills all the survivors at the end. Like it doesn't necessarily mean there's a sequel. It just means they went with the bleak ending on that one.
I will say that it didn't feel like a horror movie to me.
No, it didn't to me either. It felt more like an adventure movie, which I'm not. I did kind of like that. It had some vibes going for it that I was like really into.
Yeah, I loved the adventure energy.
Yeah. I was very into, speaking of like I guess breaking down like what worked and didn't work for me. I did get into the intro, the first bit, like what you might call the first act, where I don't remember his name.
His first outing.
Yeah.
Spike?
Spike, I remember his name. I don't remember the dad's name. Aaron Taylor Johnson, actor guy. But he takes his son out. He shows him what the world is, shows him the ropes. I did like a bit of the tension in that, like he's seeing outside of the village where he's been kept safe, and now he's seeing some of the realities of the world. He's having to like learn to like kill infected and whatnot.
I love that first act too, and I was so grateful that the whole movie wasn't his first time out.
I was too. I didn't feel like they gave him enough time out before that, though, where it's like,
yeah,
I felt like, I don't know, you done this once before, kiddo, like and now all of a sudden what, you're some kind of expert or some shit here, like
he
that
wanted to save his
I didn't buy
mom.
that. That's fine. Like I want to do like many things that are very meaningful to me. That doesn't mean I don't have to like dedicate some time practicing them, and like it's because you want to save your mom doesn't mean you can automatically, with the power of love, perform a cancer surgery on them.
Memento Amoris.
So that
there's nothing more powerful than love.
The more that is one thing where, like, the more I've thought about it, that bit felt like, not specifically that bit, but the way they handled his mom's death really just upset me. The more I've sat with that and thought about it, because it just feels like such a betrayal of so many other themes that I felt like were being set up. Like the big driving force of him leaving the village and setting out on his own with his mom to like save her, find a doctor, is like all the lies that he's running into, all the inability to find like straight and clear answers to things. He's even criticizing his dad, like, that's not what happened when we went out there. Just let it happen, and then he's finding out his dad's cheating on his mom, his dad's lying about like these things that they saw out there and what they were. His dad's clearly keeping things from him, kept a doctor from him. And so like I kind of liked all that as like somewhat of an unveiling of like wow, I thought everything was like this way, and just now I'm being directly faced with all these ways in which like I was fed a bunch of lies and going out to just try and like save his mom, but also, but even like right before his mom died, she said she even has the line of like, I've always known I wanted to tell you, but I wanted to protect you from the truth. So on the heels of all of that, after all that's been built up, to then like handle her wanting to die there by just hit him in the back with a dart, knock him out, don't even give him a chance to like process it, say yay or nay to this, accept it one way or another, just knock him right the fuck out and hand him his mom's skull the next day. That felt that felt like an
wild.
absolute betrayal of remembering death and being honest about death and facing death and being truthful in the face of death. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't think like he could have handled the moment of his mom going to die
Perhaps.
because he's 12.
But there are two issues with that. One, if that's the case, I feel like he should have been more upset when he was handed his mom's skull the next day and he just like, well, I guess I'll put it on top.
No, he didn't.
He should have
climbed up there. He set it to look at the sunset.
I feel like he should have had some tears, some anger of being again, you know, just lied to about what was going on. You know, some kind of some kind of more visceral reaction to tell me that he like felt something a little bit more than just like, okay, I accept this. Like if he was, and again, to be clear, if he couldn't handle his mom's death before, I don't think that's going to make him feel better about it.
I do think because she said she was in constant pain and like she wanted to die makes a difference.
Well, but the other part is that he wasn't even given a chance to like have a reaction one way or another.
Yeah.
They told him that, you know, she's going to die and there's nothing we can do, which I did think that like there is something poetic about like the fact that she's got like degenerative brain cancer in that way, and that like there's just so many layers of fucked that she is. She is just absolutely the Walking Dead that like we could kind of tell from the beginning. Just giving credit to that, you know.
Yeah.
Like we know as the audience that even if he finds a doctor, well, he doesn't have equipment to diagnose her or treat whatever she has. And at that point, even like under good conditions, under good conditions, the best doctor in the world probably couldn't save her life.
Yeah.
Like it just, there's just no way to save her whatsoever at that point. So I did like that, but going from just hearing that his mom's going to die and then getting all of 10 seconds to just like, wait, so there's nothing you can do, and then hug his mom, and then just,
and then she's gone forever.
And then she just fucking stabs him in the back like that. That felt like, and it felt wholly unethical too, from like someone who was like a doctor.
Take his license away.
A doctor in a previous life too, I feel like would just have better personal standards in some way, especially with like the Temple of Bones, the memorial he's set up, like how honest in so many other ways that he was. I felt cheated that he didn't get even an opportunity to be treated, to get honesty from somebody about what's happening, to really actually get to face death. Because what they did is, I don't feel they allowed him to actually like remember death. I feel they didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know if I fully agree, but I will say it reminds me of something else though, which I fully during the entire movie suspended my belief to the point to immerse myself in it and enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
But when I'm outside of the movie, I'm like, the planet isn't providing any aid to
Yeah.
any people in these countries.
Fuck those Britons.
Like, that is so unrealistic. They would have internet and stuff, I feel like.
Well, not to mention that, like, well, you're just letting this fucking zombie virus like fester and evolve in all these ways here. 28 years and you can't get your shit together. Like, what?
Like, even now, we can't leave remote villages alone. Everybody's going there and giving them candy and like.
Yeah, like during COVID. That reminds me. During COVID, there were actually efforts to like treat people in very remote areas or remote tribes that just they do not interact with like the big city, but like they were still getting COVID.
Yeah, that to me was so just like, you really, I guess they needed it for the story they were telling, but that was so unrealistic to me. That was more unrealistic than zombies to me.
It made me that bit like I also tried to kind of push it aside and I just accepted it, kind of like I kind of did the same thing with A Quiet Place, where like I was kind of looking for it, and I in A Quiet Place I like ignored it, at least for the first one. But I was looking for like are these monsters taking over the world? Like, can do I buy that they could do that? And like in A Quiet Place, I had to just be like, no, I don't buy it. No, I don't buy it, but I'll let you have it. And then
Also, Europe isn't even like a cut off thing.
Well, I think it's just Britain, which is an island.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh yeah, because that army guy was from Sweden.
I'm bad with geology, but Britain is, I believe, just an island, so it kind of works that they're kind of an infection started there, and they can just be kind of isolated on their own. I have also heard other things too, that like
they would definitely drop fucking rice off there though. Like,
I mean,
give me a break.
I feel like at some point they'd either drop supplies and evacuate people or just nuke the fucking place. Like one or the other. Like I don't feel like they'd allow the zombie plague to like evolve a social structure like that, where now they can organize and take over the world or whatever. But also, like, I guess to my original point, like I didn't really, now that everything's been like set, they've been trapped, Britain's been isolated, I didn't really buy that the zombie virus was really that deadly that there wouldn't be some plan to take back the Isle of Britain and cleanse that rage virus shit out of there.
Please hold while we deal with technical difficulties. Are you done? Get my oranges?
Well, nah. Did you want me to?
No.
We're busy. So, yeah.
I did like something I've always wanted more in things like this is the like psychological effects. I liked the town 28 years later of like, here's the jobs that exist, like I loved the world building in general, including the then seeing like the different groups, which I imagine the other movies will have even more of, like the different cultures that emerged from this, which feels a lot more fun than like the Walking Dead cultures, I guess.
Walking Dead had different cultures.
Yeah. This feels more fun.
Okay. I guess like I guess like
Also, I liked the first 8 seasons. I don't even remember which one I quit liking. When they killed Glenn.
ironically, like when they introduced Negan, that's about where I tapped out.
Even though he's such a good character.
Negan is a great villain, but the Jeffrey Dean Morgan like kills that role. It's just like you took away Glenn and Abraham and like all this bullshit just to like come to here. It's like, I'm sick of this shit.
I used to have wet dreams about Negan kidnapping me and my friends. And
what, hitting me with a baseball bat?
No, making you watch us have sex. But it, like, mattered? I don't know.
You're weird.
That's a normal girl dream.
Women, comment. Is that normal? Men, we don't need your opinions. You don't matter.
What about non-binary people?
They matter. They can share their opinions. Okay. They're neutral. Made me lose my train of thought. I guess like to the extent that I would say there were cultural differences in this show, I think that's part of what like I think that was something else that I had a hard time like suspending my disbelief for, because like at the end when they introduced this fucking velvet wearing ninjas, like I actually one guy said it best. It was such an abrupt change. I felt like I just jumped into an ad. That's like that.
I was just glad to finally see the boy from the beginning because I was looking for him the whole movie.
I was too. I was like, oh, so that's him, I guess.
Yeah.
For all that he mattered in this movie, honestly, like I guess to some extent it'll maybe inform who he is for like the next movie to some extent, but like didn't really matter in this one.
I did feel like this movie had like a value of like remembering to like be silly and not take things too seriously in that final moment, and also in some of Eric's character.
Yeah, so
like it had good comedic points throughout the film.
I actually did like Eric's character and like him kind of giving some perspective from the outside world, and I feel like he also brought something else important that I really needed, which is like someone with kind of a normal ass perspective on what's going on, because like the little boy, because like Spike, I had a hard time relating to because he's grown up in this world. So to some extent, whenever there's something that like, why is he reacting this way? I did have to keep reminding myself, oh, well, he's grown up in that world, so I guess that's normal. And then like, you know, any of the villagers or the mom's reactions to something that I found questionable, like, well, you know, they're in a different world, so I guess that's how they do it. But like him, I felt like, okay, I've met you before. You I can talk to and somewhat understand you. And so like it was nice to have that perspective in there of like, what is this shit? Why are you doing this?
Yeah. I will say, even though it wasn't like culturally relatable, I loved the focus on the 12-year-old boy Spike. I was surprised that I did. And even though I can't remember most media that I see, it was, for me, like one of the best coming of age stories I've seen in a really, really long time.
I guess to some extent I'm not quite sure. I feel like I think my big problem with the movie is that I feel like I needed more of the filler to understand certain bits that were certain bits that were going on. I felt like, and this is also partially why, like, I'm not so inclined to say that the movie's bad so much as it just probably wasn't something that where I could suspend my disbelief enough to just vibe with it, because I felt like I needed more things to understand some to understand some of the characters and what was driving them. Like, it kind of bugged me that we don't see any more of the dad until like the very end, when he finds out that Spike left a note there, and like now he's trying to run across, but like aware that like I can't make it across now, even though there's been like, I think at least two days have passed since he left, and he apparently hasn't tried to go after them, or we didn't get any measure of like him going home, or and like, why's my wife gone? Oh, my son is gone. We don't really get anything. Like, the way it kind of sets him up is just kind of, he's just sitting there in hibernation until like the note arrives for him to react to.
Would you cross the land for me? If our son kidnapped me and I had brain cancer?
Well, I mean, you've got brain cancer. You're gonna die one way or another, right?
How much would you pay a month to keep me on Common Plus?
Oh, you smelled the oven on? I better go turn that off.
Baby.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to grapple with those questions, because I'm either going to sound like an asshole for not wanting to pay to keep you alive, or I'm going to sound like a pretentious fucking virtue signaling jackass. I would pay any price for you.
You would? I knew it. Oh, baby. Okay, let's talk about some of the other movies.
Yeah, okay.
In the second, in the week C1, the amount.
Oh, you want to go backwards?
I guess. The amount of famous actors was fun and shocking.
So it was interesting also to notice for me, because my memory of when this movie came out wasn't that far off. And it was, when that movie came out, it was actually like just before some of the most famous people in that movie actually got famous.
Yeah, we had Rumpelstiltskin. We had the chick from Vivarium.
I like how you don't know their names, but apparently they are like super famous actors and I'm not super familiar with them, but I know like Jeremy Renner and fucking Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Like, they are mega famous. But this movie came out just before like Renner and Elba got really, really blew up. And I think the guy, that one guy from Lost, I don't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
He was also in The Matrix.
Yeah. Which I can never remember his character's name. I just know his son is Walter, because he was Walter.
Yeah.
Walter.
I don't know.
Walter's dad.
I don't know about Rumpelstiltskin or chick from Vivarium, because I don't remember her actress name.
I'll know her from anywhere, because I feel like she has the perfect nose, and when I saw that nose, I was like, that's the chick from Vivarium.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah,
I don't know how famous either of them were at that time, but like,
I mean, I'd say the Vivarium woman still isn't like famous.
I don't, but like, I felt like looking at the cast and where they all were at the time, I felt like the guy from Lost was actually like the most famous guy on that cast.
That's so funny.
Because Renner had like, that movie was like literally just before Hurt Locker for Renner. And then Elba, like, I was just about before like Pacific Rim and some of the other really big ones that blew him up.
Ooh, Pacific Rim is technically a monster movie, right?
Yeah,
So that's a horror.
I guess so.
I love Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim is a good one.
Yeah. And I hate Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah, Pacific Rim 2 was not good.
Fuck that movie.
I thought that wasn't that the second one just a shameless like Chinese ripoff where they like got the property and then they just wanted to just try and continue it.
Yeah. If we were doing a Pacific Rim series, I wouldn't do Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim 2. What I would do is like a Guillermo del Toro monster series.
Yeah, that might be a good way to do it.
Yeah. With like Pan's Labyrinth and Kronos. Actually, if we did Kronos, I'd want to do a Spanish horror movie. Anyways, I like movies.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. A lot of people rag on 28 Weeks Later. I actually think it's I don't think it's that bad. There are some obvious plot holes in it, but like I could point to like dozens of plot holes in a number of movies that are enjoyable. This one like has some that are, you know, a little bit harder to watch, but it's I mean, as far as like zombie movies go, I don't think it's really all that much worse than a lot of the like Dawn, Night, a lot of like George Romero zombie movies.
Even though I have it as 3rd out of 3 on my list, I still really liked it. And but I did feel a little bit like the director was being a tryhard.
What do you mean?
Like some of the camera work, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, guy. Specifically, I wrote in my notes, there was a trampoline scene where it was like filmed it like through the jump under the trampoline, and I was like, this director's being a tryhard.
Yeah. Actually, that does remind me. One other thing that really it bugged me in 28 Years Later, those intercut shots of like old Archer movies and old medieval movies. Like it's like fucking movie break. What the fuck is this? Like I don't get it.
I forgot about that part.
I mean, they interspersed that like all throughout the beginning, and I thought there was going to be that was another one where like I didn't get it. I didn't get it, and it kind of took me out of it because it's one of those things that hit me right in the face with like you're not watching somebody's story, you're watching a director's story that they're telling you and they're feeding you shit to like inform you, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it went on too long to be just like an intro-y thing, you know? I did enjoy it at times and didn't enjoy it at other times, but since I totally forgot that it was even a part of the movie until you brought it up, I'm like, it wasn't important enough to matter in the movie.
I guess it was.
So like, why was it in there?
I guess for me that's just another one of those things where, you know, when I look at 28 Years Later, there are things about it that just felt a little heavy-handed on the. I don't want to call it preachy, but it felt a little heavy-handed on like trying to be intelligent and philosophical, and it did so at the expense of like, you know, keeping your narrative in a way that makes sense, you know, or keeping your narrative structurally sound, for lack of a better way to say it. Anyway, 28 Weeks Later.
I didn't like that Rumpelstiltskin kept living multiple, you know, like to me it was weird. Like I know it's a zombie movie, but that was like supernatural beyond zombie, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, and there were some things about the way they did the zombies in that one that was distinctly different from 28 Days Later that kind of bugged me, and it kind of came like the zombies had a different feeling and vibe in this one than they did in the first one. In the first one, obviously, like, you know, they're brutal killing machines, right? And they just kind of go around trying to, like, and that's something else I like, that they're not like trying to just eat human flesh or anything. They're just like
Rage.
violent, and they're not necessarily going to like turn you. They're, you know, they're just trying to kill you, and if that means like they're picking you apart like limb by limb, like they're going to do that. And but when there aren't people around, it's not like they're just fucking going around running around at full tilt looking for people to kill. And that was something that bugged me about the second one, is there were a couple spots where all the rage zombies seemed like they were going dashing across this fucking city to find like the five survivors that were running out of it. And it just was like, well, they hunted them down pretty quick. How'd they know where they were going? Like, why'd they go that way? You know, they didn't just like run around in swarms continuing to try and like kill people or something. And why are they still like sprinting? They don't see anyone around.
I also felt like the heterochromia on the eyes was a little on the nose.
Yeah.
But I really liked the emotional decision of Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
I'm learning things.
Well, maybe. Well, depends on who you think Jeremy Renner is.
The army guy.
There were lots of army guys.
The main army guy.
Okay.
Him having to like
Idris Elba, you mean?
I don't think so. Decide to go against orders to save people. Renner. Yeah.
Or is it guy from Lost?
No. He was a helicopter driver.
Yeah, those were actually some of the things that really resonated with me, and where I felt like that movie kind of captured back what was interesting about the first one, is like some of the decision making that ended up showing up for various characters at various points, whether it's Rumpelstiltskin, like, you know, starting out trying to like, you know, defend everyone. It's not like he immediately turned tail and ran, but like at some point he, you know, got disarmed and like, fuck, what do I do? I've got to run. And then, yeah, abandoned his wife. Like, I did like that as like a moral dilemma that he got stuck in. And then, you know, even him like getting back to his kids who had luckily been abroad, kind of faced with a moral dilemma around like, how do I tell them about their mom now when like I know some shit, you know? And then like, yeah, Jeremy Renner's like decision to like I'm not just gonna sit up here on this rooftop and just kill everyone haphazardly, you know? Like I liked a lot of those moral dilemmas that it presented about like how violent do we need to be? How brutal do we need to be? And where's the line for it?
Yeah.
Even like the notion of like the U.S. military just kind of making the decision like, we're just going to kill everything here and just, you know, nuke the whole place because that's where we're at. Like, I didn't necessarily disagree with that, and I thought that actually could have been expanded on maybe a bit more by giving Idris Elba's character a bit more characterization, or a bit more to do other than just be the dick general that's, you know, giving out orders, right?
Yeah.
Maybe having him like come in confident that like, look, we've got a plan, we've got safeties, we haven't seen anything. Like, if it comes back, we're under control and we've got this thing under control. And then having to like, face his own hubris as when like he's like, we got to kill everybody now because we did not have this under control at all.
Yeah,
I thought that would have been good for that movie.
And unfortunately, 28 Days Later we watched like 3 weeks ago.
So you've already forgotten everything about it, haven't you?
Oh, okay. I thought it was weird. There was no women in the British military.
Yeah, I guess that's weird.
Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Upon rewatch, I do think it's weird that like everybody gives up hope
like a
so
month
quickly.
Like, oh, the rest of the world is dead. It's like it's been a month.
Yeah, it's like
it feels silly.
There's a point where like to some extent I get it. Like
that means those army guys hadn't been fucked in 28 days. Like they're ready to rape and cannibalize in less than a month.
Hey baby, I mean, what can I tell you, man? Man's gotta eat.
I think it would take a little longer.
Yeah, I guess that was something that like watching that movie and kind of like processing like, wait, y'all got here after like 28 days, and like because like there's some of that journey I could follow you on. I could follow that like the city's been totally toasted and fragged by this, just horrible plague that's ravaged everything. And, none of these people have, had contact with anybody in the last several weeks because of this, because of like how quickly this thing has taken over. Right. I get that. I do have a hard time buying that any section of the military is that cut off, especially like if they're holed up. But like, okay, it seems stupid, but I'll go along with it. And then like, Jim just staring up at the sky like, oh look, a jet. Like, the fuck, you guys, like, it's like you've been in here for. It's like the whole fucking cartoon gag of like, oh my god, this isolation is so terrible, and I think I'm about to snap from the pressure. How long has it been? 5 minutes. Shit.
Also, where's the nerds building radios in any of these things?
That was actually something. Yeah, that was something I wondered about 28 years later. Like, I felt like there would have been somebody in that group. Well, two things I realized. One, that I figure there would have been somebody in that group that would have been somewhat mildly tech savvy, and they'd try to like maintain some manner of like electricity or something
also,
for the island.
Books still exist to learn tech stuff.
Yeah, like you wouldn't. It just
already built radios exist on the country of.
Yeah, I had
to pee really bad.
I had a hard time buying that. Like nobody was trying to restore anything. Should I just wait for you to come back?
You can say so. I'll listen to you.
Okay, it's the Devon Show now. The Devon Horror Hour. I guess the second thing I realized about 28 years later is that it's fucking weird that village didn't have some manner of doctor, didn't have a medicine man, witch doctor, something to serve as like someone to serve as a physician of some sort. It's weird. And even if you want to argue that like they had doctors at one point, but they all died off. Like, are you kidding me? This place is surviving 28 years, and you don't think it was important to pass off any of that like medical knowledge so that someone can treat people if they get a cut? Like that's just preposterously
they took the doctors
stupid.
out of the quarantine.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I've never even had an adult friend group that didn't include a doctor or someone who identifies as a doctor.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
That would be that would be kind of an important role, a village doctor of some sort, even if it's not like a full-time job necessarily. Like that would be a skill set that any village would want maintained.
Well, yeah, and even not an MD, but like even like a herbalist or something.
Yeah. Oh, you tripped and you hurt your ankle. I guess we just gotta kill him. We don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking now that wasn't on the list of jobs.
Yeah.
In the community.
And that was something else that bugged me, that like this kid doesn't know what a cell phone is, doesn't know what a car is, but he understood the term GP.
I do not think he understood that. I think he just understood the word doctor.
Okay.
Well, and the old man was just speaking in language that was normal to him, but I don't think the kid understood the word GP.
I guess I'm surprised that he was, that intrigued by a doctor too, especially if they're not included. Well, but especially if they're not included in the village, like there is a point where it's like, this isn't included in your life. It's established that any things that like aren't part of the village, like your information and your knowledge base on them is kind of limited, but about a doctor. You know what doctors are and what they do.
That feels realistic to me. But
for me, it's another step of like, okay, I'll accept that. 28 days later, I thought it was a lot better. I thought it was of them the easiest to enjoy narratively, because like it's kind of just following this small group of people around and their journey, and like them relating to each other, and like trying to get to a place where they feel safe and comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I found it very touching, the scene where they definitely thought the women were going to get raped,
Yeah.
And the older woman giving the younger woman drugs and being like, this is for you to tolerate this experience. Like, it just felt very loving to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so sad when the dad fucking just caught the drop of blood right in his eye.
Oh, yeah, that was heartbreaking. That was the only thing I remembered from the movie, from watching it like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
When Devin brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, the blood drop in the eye.
Like, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, and like they did a good job of like, really making that as a character that kind of
care about.
Yeah, you care about. It stands out. It was like pleasant to be around. You feel like you know him by the time he dies, and it's just
the way they built the relationships in that movie was really real. Like, it was so believable.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I mean, even speaking of that, even like that first guy, I don't know what his name was, but like the first guy that was traveling with the older woman, Celine.
Yeah.
I don't know what his name was, but like that, he got infected, and like she just immediately macheted him. Like, even him, I felt like they did a good job of like giving him some character and making it like shocking when he's just gone. He just gets nuked right there.
Yeah.
So
Something that I did find most unrealistic in that movie though is some of the times the army guys were very freely shooting people very close to them, and the guts would fly backwards onto them.
yeah,
And I was like, there's no carefulness around trying not to get this virus.
yeah. Ironically, with like a gun and everything too. I do feel like, I mean, among other things, I felt like they should have probably been wearing some more like protective gear of some sort. Like,
Where's your PPE, guys?
I mean, yeah, like where's your hearing protection?
Oh, that does remind me of a powerful scene in the movie was when the main man,
Jim Killian Murphy,
Kira, um,
Oppenheimer.
When he was in like a righteous rage, and it was hard to tell if he had become infected or not.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, this rage is real, you know?
Yeah, I mean that's where there's like so many different layers to that movie that kind of really just make the characters so powerful. Like even the villain soldier characters all kind of like stand out, where like are recognizable to some degree. Like the cook, I recognize him as somebody who's like seems to be trying his best, but he's kind of an imbecile, and they pick on him. The main jerk soldier who's very clearly ready to like just let's get the raping on, guys. What are we waiting for? Let's take this guy out back, shoot him, and rape some bitches. That guy stood out. But like, I could kind of like, I could kind of have some appreciation for like the commander's perspective, and like all he cares about now is keeping his men alive. And so it was like, they did a good job of like portraying that he took it really hard when his men died.
Yeah.
And like Jim's, lack of interest with like wanting to kill anyone or be violent at all. And the points at which he became violent, you could tell like bothered him. But like when he became faced with like these soldiers, and I almost took it too as like he saw the jet, and it just dawned on him like these motherfuckers are like already trying to just resorting to rape, and like there's a jet, there's safety, like these guys are fucking assholes with or without like structures of society.
Yeah. Which, to me, I feel like it's very clear that Danny Boyle made the first one and the Years one. That's the director.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Years just feels so tonally different in so many different ways that I
mean, I'd say the director's changed in 20 years, for sure. Or how many years has it been?
25 years, actually. No, maybe it is only like 20 years. So I think it came out in like 2000 or 2003.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like they did a better job of like filling out all the characters within a story where I didn't feel like I was constantly having to constantly having to do work to like understand where they're coming from, their reactions, or trying to put aside some skepticism with how things are working out and going. And part of that might have just been helped by the fact that like those were like modern people, and in 28 years later, they're kind of showing that like society is very different from what we're used to here. So
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, it's like
just less relatable.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like me trying to relate to someone who's grown up in the Amish society.
Oh, that reminds me of a thought I had. Is there's no, I know we already talked about like there's no way the world would have cut them off.
Uh-huh.
But that shit from that town would be worth so much money. Like they would definitely be making stuff and people would buy it like Amish furniture.
So I did hear like I heard something, or I think it was some line of questioning like, what the fuck is the rest of the world doing on here? Are they like filming what's going on that island via drones for like reality TV or some shit? Like what is everybody doing? And
there's no way they're ignoring it.
There's no goddamn way they're just ignoring it. Like somebody is making some kind of deal somewhere to like watch zombie porn, literal zombie porn. Like,
oh, zombie porn would totally be a category.
Watch as the wild alpha takes his mate.
Samson.
Oh, apparently all the zombie dicks were fake too.
What?
Yeah, you can't have like real dicks around a 12-year-old.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Well, this is what I heard. I don't know what it was. If maybe they just figured like, nah, it's an alpha. He's gotta have a giant dick.
12-year-olds see nudity, they're gonna be traumatized.
Yeah, fake penis is really gonna cover it up. They're never gonna figure it out.
The movie made me really excited to be a mom. Which we don't have to talk about. But anyways, I'd say it's one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. I forgot about Zombieland, which Devin reminded me of, which I saw. Shout out to Tyler Bailey. Him and I went and saw Zombieland in movie theaters so many times over and over and over again.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I also saw that movie multiple times, and Zombieland, I felt scratched a very unique itch in the zombie watching spheres.
Yeah.
Just because like every other zombie movie you watch is so bleak, apocalyptic, there's no hope, and that one was
so fun.
That one seemed to it seemed to take off of with it seemed to actually resonate with like some of the things that people actually like about the zombie genre.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson, so good.
Yeah. He was great in that.
Yeah.
Fucking Emma Stone too.
Oh yeah.
That was one of like her first movies.
I really like Jesse Eisenberg in a lot of movies.
For me, I'm very peculiar about the role Jesse Eisenberg shows up in. I do like him as like a kind of a, how to say it. I don't like confident Jesse Eisenberg because he just comes off as like a smarmy fuck for me.
What about that movie where he's like two people? There's like a clone of him or something.
I did enjoy him in that movie.
Because he's half smarmy in that one.
Yeah, but like it's not really until like the very end where he starts getting like, confident about things in that one. Most of it he's kind of just trying to get through the day type of character, and I don't know how to say it because I don't want to call him like say that he's like a weak wussy character or anything, because that's not so much what it is, but like,
when he's like awkward and sweet.
yeah, I guess when he's a little more on the awkward side. I just think when he's like when he's Lex Luthor and he's just like supposed to be, dominating the rooms that he's in, or when he's like in
Zuck.
Actually, I thought he did good in that, because I felt like he did hit a good balance of like
Evil nerd.
not even evil nerd, but he did a good job of playing someone that I could buy as like not necessarily evil, but like a bit of a jackass in the right sorts of ways. Like I could really buy him in that role. When I see him as like Lex Luthor or like Four Horsemen, I just feel angry. I just feel like upset as soon as he starts talking, and my joy gets sapped out. It's like, God, this guy's such a fucking prick. Why is he here? So yeah, I did enjoy him in Zombieland. And shout out to the little girl who I don't know who she is.
Oh yeah, Little Miss Sunshine girl.
Is she Little Miss Sunshine?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Oh, and Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think technically, like, Bill Murray and random girl that from like 408 or whatever, like I think they're like, I think Bill Murray is like one of the few characters in that movie that like actually gets named.
Yeah. Have you heard that theory that Ferris Bueller's Day Off is actually an unacknowledged single day in a Groundhog Day loop?
I've never heard that theory.
He like always knows what's about to happen, and clearly the day is like meticulously planned out.
I guess I hear that, but I could point out reasons why that's not true.
Well, maybe we should watch it with that theory in mind.
I mean, we could, but off the top of my head, like, I remember specific scenes where like he's obviously like caught off guard by certain things. Not to mention, like, he clearly has like a look of fear in his eyes at the very end when he thinks he's caught by Rooney just for his sister to save him. Like,
what about the theory that he's the nerdy guy's like Tyler Durden, and really they're one character?
Nerdy guy's Tyler Durden. What nerdy guy?
The guy with the rich dad.
What?
With the car.
Cameron? So like him and
Ferris
are one person?
Yeah.
I could maybe see that, because like I've heard something from I think Alex told me that the movies, or maybe it wasn't Alex. Somebody told me that, presented that movie to me as like a throuple type of movie where Sloane is having interactions with Cameron where she's trying to more than just like have him be around.
Yeah.
In some of their interactions with each other. That of course just makes me wonder if like, oh, maybe you could buy the whole movie as like Cameron just like fantasizing about what he wishes he could do as he is like lying there sick in bed.
There you go. That's the real horror.
None of it's real.
I feel like this whole thing, watching all of these movies, has I felt like very zombie burnt out, but it was kind of from a long time ago. if that makes sense. Like when there was that zombie fucking craze. And I kind of was like, I don't like zombies. I don't want to watch zombie stuff. But watching these 3 movies, and now I really want to go watch Zombieland. Like,
I would say one other zombie movie that you should watch for just putting it on your film resume purposes is Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead is a very, I would argue that's the movie. I would argue that's the movie that really kind of like created modern zombie movies. Or like is the precursor. Like anyone today who's watching zombie movies or making zombie movies was inspired in some way, shape, or form by Night of the Living Dead.
yeah.
So I think that's a movie worth watching. And it is the first movie to have a black guy in a lead role. Dwayne Jones.
Dwayne Jones. Good job, Dwayne. And he didn't have to wear a dress.
No, he didn't.
We were just watching a video on Tyler Perry's stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel good about that episode.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I'm Benzie.
And I'm Devin.
And this has been the Holler Horror Hour.
Brains. They didn't eat brains.
That's a classic zombie.
Is it though? I wonder what zombie movie they first started like trying to eat brains in. Because Night of the Living Dead, they don't do it. They just eat human flesh. 28 Days Later is obviously...
It's not brains focused.
Later. I wonder what movie actually kicked off a whole like zombies trying to eat brains.
Comment if you know. We'll shout you out next episode.
Comment if you don't know, and we'll still shout you out next episode.
Yeah, we don't get comments yet.
All one of you.